Hey everyone, and welcome to another episode of A Pretty Little Podcast. I'm Allie Violet Vixen Commissaro, and I'm here with my beautiful co-host Jessie.
Hello guys, welcome. We'd love to have you back, and I'm so excited for tonight's guests.
Tonight's guests put the gore in gorgeous. Whether they're on set or traveling the country making appearances, these horror hotties have just about seen it all and have absolutely no problem telling us all about it. From corsets to caskets to creating the perfect murder scene while having a blast with their bestie, please welcome Fallon VenDetta and Sophia Roberts.
Hi guys.
Hey. Welcome guys.
Hi. How are you?
So it's been over a year. Tell us everything.
Yeah.
That's wild. I didn't realize how long it's been since we got to chat last.
I know.
It doesn't seem like a minute.
Blink of an eye, honestly.
Oh my God.
Yeah, and you do so much. Like, I try to keep up with your social media, but
don't feel bad. I can't even keep up with it.
It's like
I don't even know what day it is. So no, what day
it's Monday. It's Monday.
Okay.
I'm pretty sure it's Monday.
It is Monday.
So let's start with, where are you with the movie?
Which one?
Sucks to suck.
All right. Sucks to suck. So we went through a whole thing. I was actually talking to Sophie about this earlier because we haven't talked a lot about it. And I was like, I got to figure out the best way to kind of go about this. So we got so far into sucks. We were like at the end, and we ended up with the typical indie, like this disappeared or this had an issue. And then I think that so many people were so enthusiastic about it and got so excited. And like, we feed off of ideas and energy, and like, we really want people to feel included. Like, that was the whole point. But it got us kind of jumbled in a way that a lot of things were interjected that really didn't want to be there, and kind of took me off of the path of what my original vision was with the project and why I was doing it. And then, finance is really weird for indie film. There are a lot of things too that, like, we had someone throw like a ridiculous amount of money at us. And I was like, oh, all right, well, yeah, but what does that entail? And with that came the whole like, oh, but we want control of this, or we want control of that. And
it was a sham.
Definitely a sham. And from an outsider perspective too, and someone who doesn't really know, I guess they see dollar signs, right? Which is not, making money's great. We all want to make money doing what we love to do. But there were certain aspects that I felt like they kind of threw Sophie under the bus too, being honest, where it was like, well, but what if we put this person in this role? And I was like, absolutely not. That's not why I wrote this. Like, I'm not taking someone out that should be there. Like, it doesn't make sense without her. It's not the project that it is without Sophie. And Sophie's incredibly talented. She's not had like a ton of on-camera acting experience, which really has changed since Sucks. But she's doing all the things now. But there's no way in hell that I was going to do that. Like, this project has a certain level of integrity, even from a personal standpoint, where I just feel like now, if I'm not doing what I love to do with the people that I love to do, I don't care how much money is on the line. It doesn't matter to me. Like, I want to do what I love to do with the people that I love, and
you're not willing to
compromise. No, I'm not going to compromise that.
You're Rob Zombie, she's Sherry Moon, and that's it.
That's true,
literally.
Right?
Honestly,
no. So I just figured, we were getting ready to gear back up, and I was like, wait, it needs to go back to the way that it was. And then in the process of us getting ready to start that again, I had all these other films come on the plate, like on the playing field, that I was like, oh my gosh, like, what do I do here? Do I try to just rush to get Sucks out, which again, I'm not doing. I think a lot of things in life happen with divine timing. I feel like things happen really when they're supposed to happen. And it's definitely not like a forgotten about project. And there's a lot of big stuff in the works for Sucks. But in the process, I'm also working on a film called Pony, which is like completely different. It's not horror at all. So it's like a dirt track racing movie, which is a lot of fun.
So cool.
A lot of action. Is dirty.
Yeah.
Not that kind of dirty, but dirt track dirty.
Dirt track dirty.
Doing that and doing this other like really corny, fun VHS style movie, which is Medieval Pool Toy Massacre. Sophie's in that too. That's been an adventure. So it's just like all of these things like on top of each other. And then I said, you know what? I'm going to take time off. And this is going to be like this time of year is usually my
Didn't happen.
No, it didn't happen at all. And then I decided to remodel my entire house in the process of doing all 3 other movies.
Because you didn't have enough on your plate.
No, but it'll be great because then all of that's going to be done before winter. And then I was like, Sophie, we're taking a business trip because we're going to go sit on a beach and I'm just going to write and I'm not going to be bothered.
Well, that's also the problem. We have so much that we have to reconstruct and like figure. And I work full time. She's a mom. She's working full time.
How is it? Because you went back to the salon. How has that been?
It's been good. It's been really good. I really love where I am right now. And everything's been great, but it's just having the time to sit and rack our brains, reconstruct things, do what we have to do to get everything figured out, to put things back into place.
And the way we want to do
Right.
it. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? Because we could easily, again, it was like we had some really, really well-known distributors too. Like, oh, like we want to take this, we want to do this, we want to do that. And we do have everything that we shot, you know, the first time around.
Cut it and it wouldn't have been what we wanted though.
No. So why?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Silly. So it's weird because it's got its own little like cult following without even being done. I think people are just so excited about the fact that we like, I mean, it sucks to suck. So like literally
we say it all the time. People are like, oh, it does suck to suck, because it does. And that's why we named it what we named it, because it just, you know, it
and
wouldn't
if you suck, we're not going to deal with you. So
Right.
I'd rather just wait until we are like, you know, and then now I don't know. I think certain things paved a lot of other roads for us where originally like I wanted it to go pretty crazy over the top and I felt like I had to scale it down, but I don't have to do that anymore.
Like I can take it wherever I want to go. I love that you won't sacrifice your artistic vision for money. Like, I just think that's really admirable. And I think that you two are fucking killer for that.
Thank you.
Wouldn't
But I'm like, you know what? If it takes a little bit longer,
this
like,
is our baby. It's gonna be
more,
out. We're not
more time we get to hang out. Like, I'm not mad about it. It's totally fine.
We're not rushing.
I think that's making something with integrity, and I really respect both of you for that.
Thank you.
So when do the other one when are the other ones coming out?
So Pony, we did something wild that's like totally unheard of. So usually if you see, you know, a film that has like a lot of like racing sequences or everything choreographed, we didn't do that. All of the racing scenes that are in Pony are actually from the racing season.
Oh, wow.
Like it's not rigged. It's not like it's actual racing sequences. And then, so we are shooting, there's one race left in the season. We're shooting the entire season, which in retrospect is probably, I mean, it was more money than we should have spent, but that's fine. So yeah, like all of the crashes for the most part, everything like it actually happens. And then we took what we needed from those scenes and then they're pulled out to the film. We've done certain blocks of principal, but principal for that, you know, shifting the season has to wait until I think we're doing some in the end of November and then we have to wait until it gets warm again. But in the interim, then we have to go through all of this like racing footage too, which is insane. So, I mean, there was one night, what did we have? 12 people. Yeah. We had 12 cameras on at one point. Like it's a whole,
because it's like the pony car. And then she's going down and setting all this up on these cars, like all these GoPros on the different cars that are following the car around. So you're getting the perspective from everything. It's like the whole entire race.
Yeah, I was supposed to just be acting. I would like to clarify that. And then I ended up, now I'm the production manager, but I'm just doing all the, I just
what drew you to that project?
The guy that's running everything, I actually worked with him on another project years ago, and it was just a really, really good experience. I wouldn't say, truthfully was the strongest film that ever came out, but I really admired his perseverance, and anything that he's ever done, it always comes out. You know what I mean? And I like the drive there because it's this constant, like, there's no ego, there's no bad energy. Everybody's really cool. Everyone works together. Even when it's not a horror project, it still kind of shares that energy. But it's this constant, like, want to do better, constant want to do, to build more or to do something from a more creative angle. So we were supposed to do Jar, and then we ended up just jumping on Pony because it was such a good opportunity. We have like huge sponsors like Simpson, the racetrack that we're at, and they also sponsored Sucks. So there's like a tie-in from Sucks now too. And you'll see when Pony comes out, there are like a bunch of other Easter eggs for like different projects in that are horror related in Pony, which is pretty fun. We also had Chris Rags. He did a lot on the new Terrifier. He came and shot some stuff on Pony, and it's just fun, just a fun network. You know what I mean?
Now,
Like,
is that really challenging for you because you're used to horror?
It's weird, I think, because I dabble so much back and forth between, like, I'll always love horror. Horror is like like, how can you not? I don't know.
Multifaceted though. Like, you don't just stick to one thing.
No,
Like,
I think there are certain elements that you kind of carry over, but if it's like a high impact, like, action sequence, like, it's kind of the same to some extent. Like, granted, you're not like running for your life or whatever, you know what I mean? But there's still like heightened energy to that. So that's what made it fun. And I used to stunt drive. So the fact that I kind of get to like do that again, I feel kind of cool, not gonna lie.
I would feel cool too. What a cool thing. Anything with racetracks, anything was like, that is such a cool subculture.
And Sophie like grew up in that too. So
yeah, my dad's a racing machinist. He has like a brick at Maple Grove. He works with someone who has like millions of followers, and like he loves that, and he does great work. And I literally grew up sleeping in drawers at these racetracks.
That is so cool. Oh my god, that is like,
yeah. So it's like a little piece of home,
right? It's cool. It's like really everything comes full circle.
Yeah, that's so weird that it came so full circle like that. I feel like it's like when you said divine timing, that is truly divine timing. Like, it is almost like like almost unbelievable how that came together.
Well, and then it's nice because, because of how things are working out with Pony, and because I'm wrapping up on Amityville, and now, like I said, we were supposed to start with Jar, which is like a possession movie, but we're coming back to Jar. So now he's like, all right, Fallon, we got to do this for Sucks. We got to do this for Jar. We're doing that. I'm like, okay, all right, can somebody be my mom for like 2 minutes and just tell me where I'm going and what I'm supposed to be doing?
Yeah.
I'm figuring it
He's
out.
like the guy in the FBI that has the big board with all the red strings. And you're just like going everywhere.
But they all come out
to the same point, but it's when you step back.
There's so many moving pieces. All this you got going on, but I think it's really impressive that you guys are somehow managing all of this on your plates. It must take a lot to manage so many things.
I wouldn't without Sophie, though, to be honest, because it's like entertainment, I feel like, is a blessing and a curse sometimes, where it's like when you're a really, really passionate person and you like give your all into everything that you do, unless you're around the same types of people, it's like it's kind of isolating. You know what I mean? Because you're like, hey, I did this thing, and people look at you like you're kind of nuts because it seems so over the top, but that's your normal.
Yeah.
What I mean? So it's like a thoughtful gesture. Like, I almost feel like people are like, oh, you love bombing me? No, like, that's just what I do.
Yeah.
Like, you know what I mean? So with having someone like Sophie, I feel like it's nice because we kind of like ground each other, and we'll notice like,
we can't go more than 3 days, or it's like our chi gets off.
Something's
like,
off.
we
like
gotta
my phone will
or
ring
something.
and she's like, "Are you good?" I'm like, "Are you okay?"
No.
Like we're not. So we have
Can you
to.
guys read each other's thoughts? Like, can you feel when the other one's doing bad? Because I have some friends like that.
100%.
Yep.
So people are like, "What are you talking about?" I'm like, I can feel that she's having a bad day.
Yes.
Yeah.
You just know.
Yeah.
So it's awesome to have that because I feel like that's what makes certain times when we're off doing other things or like, there's been quite a few events that we've had to go to where everything else is kind of falling apart around us and we're just like, okay.
We're just that little dog on the bike where everything's on fire, the dog's on fire, we're like, everything's fine. It's fine.
We always figure it out, but she's like my, I don't know.
We're each other's like
even,
weird inner
I
compasses.
don't even have a good word for it.
No, I completely understand. I also love having somebody that you're so in tune with that when something weird happens that nobody else picks up on, you're like at each other.
Right.
Yup.
And she has to like check me either. Like if something,
Both of us do that.
like we have our raccoon in the garage moments, like we're only human. We like have a little rumspringa here and there. And we're like, all right, you know what? Work it out. Go get it out of the system. And then we're like, what the hell are you doing?
Get back in the house.
Come
You're
on.
dead.
No, you're out. So it's good.
It's good to have it's good to have somebody always on your back, whether always looking out for you, whether professionally or in your personal life. I love that you guys have that.
Yeah, and we have like spidey senses, I think, with each other too. Like as far as I think for the most part, because we are pretty honest and open-ended, and you know what I mean. Like we try to see that in other people, and I think that like I'll pick up on something that she should have noticed, and vice versa. So we're like a good safety net for each other. Because she's like, no.
It's funny when it happens at the same time. We look at each other and we're like, we don't have to have the conversation. It like telepathically will be like, oh, okay, no, we're
moving
gonna go
on.
over here. Goodbye. Like
that is not the move.
No, it's not good.
I think it's funny because Jesse and I mean, we're at like 70 something for episodes. Like it's crazy because we can pick up on little things now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like when I'm at a loss, like she'll jump right in. Like,
oh yeah, we definitely can read each other. When I'm feeling some sort of way, she picks up, or I'm nervous, or she's nervous, or whatever. We can
80-20 rule. Like if you're 80, I have to be 20. If I'm 20, you got. Like, we just help each other out. That's how it should be.
Yeah, but in all aspects too. I mean, not even from the the entertainment or the podcast or whatever. Like just from a life aspect, if you have somebody that you can relate to like that, like I don't know, I'll take that over anything any day.
It's very precious.
You're precious.
I mean, you guys seem like you have fun going to the horror cons and stuff like that. And
blast,
I mean, I was talking about your table and your aesthetics for like everything. I was like, it is so cute. Like I remember the license plate, which I'm still regretting not getting.
Oh, we'll get you a final girl license.
I love
that. So cute though.
It is. I mean, you put a little jazz on it.
Yeah, right.
You don't do anything with half a heart. You got to wholeheart it. Like, why would somebody want to come over to your table and engage with you if it's just you have the bare minimum tablecloth and like some business cards?
No, it's just not. I want to be exciting and
we
fun.
want to have fun.
And a little weird.
Yeah.
Why not a little weird?
If we're gonna be there for how many hours, 3 days straight, like we want to have fun. We make sure you guys are having fun too. It's like
Steve Martin one time we did somehow we did this event, and in the box, like one of the prop boxes from Sucks got mixed in with these like containers we had, and there was a disco ball in there, and I picked it up and he spotted it and he was like, you better hang that up. You're gonna hang that up, right? So it started like this whole silly disco ball thing, which was just so ridiculous. But now every time, like we've been slacking because we haven't had it, and every time like, come on.
That's okay. We got him with the bubble guns the other time.
Yeah, we did.
Yeah.
we like to have a good time.
So you don't have to tell us where, but with fans, what has been your weirdest fan reaction?
Oh, there's a lot. There are a lot.
It's getting weird, not gonna lie.
It's getting really weird. I like.
Yeah, well, I'm so at the point too. I'll like make sure she's safe, And anytime someone comes up, I'll just be like, let's make sure we have our hands at our sides. Like,
Yeah, we
making sure
had to
boundaries are
start.
respected.
I
and-
don't want to be that person where I look like I'm not interacting with somebody, but
Yeah,
it
I get
was
it.
really weird, and people started to get really touchy, and I'm like, you know what I mean? Like, I want to dress cute, but then I'm like, do I just wear sweatpants? Like, what,
Yeah.
It was getting kind of weird that way. Recently I went to buy doorknobs.
Oh, yeah, that.
And then, well, before that, okay, so she and I went to a store and bought flowers. We're not going to promote anyone's stores. But then, like, right when we were checking out, the guy was like, hey, Fallon, yeah, I've been watching you on Instagram and blah, 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 blah. And I was just like, okay, cool. Like, whatever, is a fan. That's fine. Like, he was at least respectful. But then I went back into the same place for doorknobs. And then I like tried to order a door. And the person that I was talking to was like really, really cool, whatever, overheard a phone conversation, then was like, oh, like I thought I recognized you. Like, you're in film, right? And I was like, oh, yeah. And I tried to just kind of let it go. That was all right. But next thing I know, like when I went back to the store to return said doorknobs, it was like a whole weird thing. Like like this is a big place. And they all kind of followed me. And I was just like, look, it's great that I don't have to wait in line. But now, like, I don't know, the trickle down from that has been really, really weird because they're all like, they're messaging me. I'm like, it's kind of weird because I'm like, I wanted to place an order through there and you have my personal information. So
Yeah,
You're on Amazon.
it's a little invasive. I don't like that.
We're going to need
you just want the places that you're going to be professional, and if they can't be professional, then it's like, why would I go to you?
The weirdest fan thing ever, though, or the most semi-traumatic, I think, I did years ago with Doug Sackman, who passed away actually, like 6 months ago. Poor guy. We did New York Zombie Crawl one year, and then to promote that, we went to, I think it was Walker Stalker. And like we had a booth there, and this guy was like, I actually wrote part of this into Sucks, but this guy was like in the corner, spoiler, and he was like looming, and I was like, all right, this guy's a little weird. And then like an hour later, he was looming from another angle. So I'm like, oh, what the heck? So he comes up like really slowly to the table, like kind of looks around and like scurries off. So I'm like, all right. So then he comes up again and he just kind of like points to a picture. And I was like, oh, did you want to print? Sure. Like, and he just like nods. So I'm like, all right. So he ends up just like putting cash on the table and like taking the print, running off. Like I didn't even sign it. So I'm like, what is going on? Like this just gets weirder and weirder every time. And then like I find he comes back again. I sign it, and then he's like, oh, can I get a picture? So I was like, yeah, all right. So I like, that's normally what you do. So like I went to go out to the front of the table, and before I could even move, he like bolts his way into the booth, and like big guy, and he's just like dunk. And it was a really tight squeeze, and I'm like, not to be gross, but I was like,
yeah,
like in this guy's armpit, right? And I was like, so then like whatever, takes a picture, like runs away. I don't see him the rest of the time. So anyway, I'm standing there and I was like, what is that? I'm like, what is that smell? I'm like, is that me? I'm like, it's not, it's me, but it's not me. So this guy, whatever, like
his armpit smell was on you.
was so bad. We were next to an oddities booth, and I was like, look, I know you have alcohol over there. I'm like, I don't care what it is. Like, I don't care if it's Clorox, like whatever, please. Like I was like dry heaving under the table. I had to rip my shirt off. I'm like hiding under there, like rubbing myself down with Clorox wipes. And if that wasn't bad enough, like it like permeated. Like it was just in my brain. I could smell it for like a day, I swear to God. Then this guy somehow finds my personal email address and emails me. And he's like, I know you like tea. It was really nice to meet you. There's this place like near my house. And he's like, oh, there's this place that's not far from you. Like, if you'd like to get tea. That I'm like, what in the hell?
Some people don't know boundaries or personal space or just be normal.
No, it's weird, right? Like if you're not totally engaging with somebody, then standoffish. If you're nice or complimentary, then you're flirting. I'm like, look, I just am who I am.
I can't win either.
Yeah.
My issue is always like people will have a preconceived idea of the person that I am. And then they meet me and then they don't, it never like
breaks their brain, right?
Yeah.
it absolutely breaks their brain because I am fucking funny. And like they want me to be like I'm very sexy and like I'm like, like all the time, and I'm like bust your balls kind of like person, and like I'm kind of like Delco trash. Damn, I had no people. I've literally been like, people have been like, I didn't know you were stupid, and I was like, I know you should. Why was that never in the wheelhouse of things that had to be mysterious or like interesting? I had to be like at a typewriter, like in my sexy nightgown. Like these are the people who want me to be, and then
that's what you wanted to do, though.
Yeah, I can't. Like I could be that person, but I'm too silly.
No, I feel like it is weird how people perceive you, because I feel like there's been a couple people that like we've had conversations about this and perception, and like people are like, oh, well, I really thought you were going to be a bitch.
I get that too. I always get that. It's just you to say that to me.
Or then I think there are times too that it depends. I realized how I'm being perceived initially too. Like if I'm being perceived from a producer role, then it's like, it's all business. So then I'm intimidating. If I'm being perceived from, a modeling role, then it's like you're expected to be stupid and vapid and not say anything. Or like, I'm okay. All right. So I just don't care. I'm like, you know what? Think what you want. And we talk about it too. I'm like, some people, no matter how good you are, no matter how sweet, they're going to paint you as a villain. And I'm like, the villain is better dressed anyway. So I'm fine with that.
I mean, I literally have beauty school dropout tattooed on me, but I'm published. I'm an educator. I have my license. So I love when people look at that and they're like, oh, why? Because it was one of the first musicals I worked on, and I'd rather be underestimated and show you.
Right? Don't you love that? I love that too. Like, I love to prove people wrong. Like, I love the challenge of like, or the preconceptions. I love to just completely shatter whatever you thought initially.
It's fun to watch people like once that wall shatters and they're like, oh. You're like, yeah, welcome to the party, bud.
Surprise.
Yep. surprise.
Can you think of the craziest rumor that you've ever heard about yourself?
Oh, there's so many. There's a lot. Some of them I'm not even going to bring up, but yeah. You know what's fun? For a while, I was like, should I just go on Reddit and like make things up about myself? Because that would be
funny,
good.
Actually, that would be pretty entertaining.
I've heard a lot of things. I read an article once that said that I cheated on somebody that I was with my tattoo artist husband. I never had a tattoo artist husband. That I was like in some crazy like court case for my kids, like weird. I'm like, where
do people get this? Yeah,
stuff out of nowhere,
like you clearly making it up. You're not even trying. You don't even look good.
Like if they don't, they see what you are online, and if people like don't have the full like story, they just make up parts.
But it's like where we should know by now, right? That like people show you what they want to show you on social media, right? So it's like, which I'm so weird about social media. I think it's a great tool, but it's also like it's warped a lot of people, and it's hard to discern between like, this is how I look, this is how I should look, this is what I should show, this is what I shouldn't show. And I think we know that a lot of it's not real, right? But people don't know how to truly discern between persona and personal. So if you have things out there from like a business standpoint, like the whole Fallon VenDetta thing, like that wasn't even supposed to be a thing. It was kind of like a joke. And then a magazine put Fallon VenDetta on the cover. I was like, oh, I'm stuck with it now. So kind of what it is. There's worse names I could be stuck with, I guess. But then Google like tied it together. But that's not like that's a tidbit. Like I don't put any of my personal life on there at all.
Yeah.
So you're going to gather what you want. And I don't know. And I like talking to people too, which is also a problem because like I know I'm talking more here, but I tend to let other people talk more because I like that connection, like that brief connection. You know what I mean? And I'm like, I think sometimes people just want that so badly. Like they just want someone that they can kind of vent to or relate to.
Yes.
But I have to watch because there were certain times that because I'm like sharing that moment with somebody that I would kind of give personal details. And I had to really learn to like just shut up. Don't tell anybody anything. Like I've become such a reserved person and I think it's all for the better. So
Yeah.
say what you want. I don't.
You know what? It's hard. It's hard. Like Jesse and I just did a podcast, and like I'm so used to being like the host or the co-host. I like after the podcast, I'm like, why did I say that? Like, why did I answer that? Like, I should
Yeah.
have
I had a great time because I wasn't responsible for any of it. Like I was responsible for the guests having a good time. My issue is like, so I'm in a band. I'm the front man and front woman, front person in the.
Heck
Okay. And I always say, I have issues with turning things into my HBO special, which is I'll be like up there like cracking jokes like ha cha cha, can I get a like up there. But that's from being a theater kid, I feel like, and that
never goes away.
Nope.
yeah, it never goes away, and you can always tell other theater kids.
We kind of struggle with it too, though, because there are times where we should definitely be serious, but like we are when we absolutely have to. But I was saying this to Sophie too. Like, I feel like I'm the worst at podcasts. Like, I'm the worst at doing interviews. I don't really like talking about myself, but then you have these ideas of what you want to say or what you want to clarify, but then you say things and you're like, wait a second. Like, you know what I mean? It's not, there's not really backtracking. So rather than even trying to figure it out, I'm just like, whatever comes out of my mouth at this point comes out of my mouth. I don't.
It is what it is.
Fun fact, your episode last year got the most watch hours out of.
Woo!
Good. I love that. Go us. Look at us, team. Look at us go. Swell.
Yeah, I mean, and so many people like they watched it all the way through because they would like comment. They're like, I can't believe she went into her DMs. Like everyone that heard you're coming on, they're like, can you get her to go through her DMs again? Like that was great.
Oh gosh, look at DMs. Man. We can see what we have. Sophie looks at my stuff a lot of the time. Let me see. They've been pretty tame actually. Or I've just been kind of deleting them. Mm-hmm. Oh, here's one. You're in that movie. That's awesome. Thank you. Thanks, pal.
I've just been getting the porn bots lately. Like they've really been
so many of them. I just deleted so much. Oh.
Sometimes I'm like, if I was a divorced man, like I would be so fucked right now.
Oh man, I can't even.
Like I would be falling for these. I'd be like, oh hell yeah, Abigail.
I think people stop sending me like dick pics or like anything like that.
Stop them, and I'm not asking for them now. I'm not.
Start.
Please do not. I'll get like the random like, hey, you single? Hey, like what
are you doing this weekend?
Information like, or hey, I was just thinking about you. I'm like, you don't know me, or oh hey, I saw you at. That's like the creepy ones when people spy.
I hate that.
I have people from like high school that I've never really talked to. Mm-hmm. I'm at a place with my family eating dinner, and it was really good to see you. Okay, you saw me, but you didn't come say hi. Like that's
I get weird. Or uncomfortable. This married man that just says, "Wow, that's it." Just wow. Your wife's hot too. Like I don't know what you're doing.
Are the ones that they don't have a profile pic? It's like a picture of a cat.
Right.
Like they'll like send like I'll get like and it'll be like 2:40 in the morning. Like, what are you doing at 2:40 in the morning that you're like randomly talking about me on Facebook? It's very strange.
That's internet for you, whoever you are. Go to bed.
Let's see if I can get into message requests.
Oh, that's
Oh
probably
no, message request.
Oh, they're gonna be good.
Success. Oh, one of my favorite model in the world. I felt honored if you accept my friend request. Success in anything and nice to say hi. Thank you.
I had somebody message me going like, I have to unfollow you because I'll never date you and it's painful for me. And I was like, I know who you are. That was like a really bizarre for me.
That was really crazy. I had a woman message me a few months ago, and I guess she thought I was having an affair with her husband, but clearly wasn't. Like, I didn't even know the guy. Like, I don't even know how, like, we were even friends on Facebook. Like, I meet so many people, like, just in travels. Well, she wrote me and she's like, you need to delete my husband. And I was like, I don't know who your husband is. And I guess she thought that I was like bullshitting with her because she just kept writing and then I got in, I was like, why are you like writing me? Like,
well, first off, here's the thing.
Well, okay. Then she like told me her story, and it's funny because now we actually talk.
You're
like,
right, right?
Yeah. Like she'll write me and like
there aren't many girls that aren't going to have your back. If you're in a situation, like if I was talking to a guy and some girl came to me and was like, hey, I'd be like, oh, F that guy. Like, you know what I mean?
That's what I said.
Yeah. Like, no way. I got cheated on pretty much in like a worse, horrible state. And I won't get into specifics, but because a fan sent me a picture of this guy with another girl. And then I became like good friends with the girl. The girl went off on him. I have him like blocked on everything. But like she and I are so cool. She was like, I'm so sorry. Like, and it's weird because we look so similar. So I'm like, why would you cheat on me with me? Like
with me?
Yeah. Like, some kind of like option, like what, like some kind of variety, like something different in the spice cabinet. Like, what are you doing?
Men's brains don't brain. So
I had a guy message me and say like, I just dumped my girlfriend because she said if I didn't unfollow you, she was gonna break up with me. And I had no idea who the guy was.
And but did he expect you to be like, oh my god, I'm so turned on?
I messaged him back. I said, wrong decision, brother, because I don't know who the fuck you are.
That's hilarious.
So weird.
Yeah. I guess he expected me to be like, oh my god.
I love it when my like friend, I'm not really friends with him anymore, but he had like reached out to Jesse when we first started doing the show, and Jesse's response, you're like, I'm married and I'm not interested, so please don't message me again. And he's like, I just asked her how she was doing tonight. I was like, yeah, but don't you think that's weird that you're like randomly messaging? Like, she probably gets that all the time. And like,
oh, I said like something like, I don't want to fucking talk to you. I did like one of those, if I ignore your message a couple times and then you keep going with it, I'll be like, that's when I get kind of mean. I'll be like,
wait, I just heard in the last 6 months that on Messenger, if you write someone over 4 times, it actually like sends you a message saying that you're like not talking to yourself, but it's like this person hasn't
want to talk to you.
Well, that's what I feel bad. I mean, honestly, like I am terrible. Like as somebody that I'm friends with, like I don't look at my DMs. I don't like, you know what I mean? It's not something I really even see. So like the message on Facebook, I know you sent me a message on Facebook, like I didn't even see it. So I think it just got to a point where I had to just kind of
fake Fallons too. And I think I have one of the fake Fallons on my page.
So there's a ton. There's somebody, so I brought it up recently because someone made a Gmail account that's like something, it looks like it's a hair care product. It's like something grooming, whatever. And they're taking the time to reach out to contacts or people that are like, I'm affiliated with in some way. And they're not DMing them. They're finding their emails. they're emailing from that Gmail and saying, hey, you know, like, I was wondering if you could get together some of the stuff that we shot, if you could send it to me, hope all is well, Fallon Maressa. Like, that's not me. So I had quite a few people like reach out like, hey, like, do you really need pictures? Like, what is this Gmail? What the amount of time to go and like not just send a DM, but to canvas like people's information. Like, what are you doing? What are
that's
you,
crazy.
why don't you work in data entry? I feel like with that kind of recovery, like, it could be pretty profitable. So do something more productive with it. What do you think?
Yeah.
What are you thinking? I don't know. You find a good one?
Just talking to
I'm upset
themselves.
that I deleted all
And
that.
like, the amount of foreign men that I get marriage proposals from.
Oh, I believe that.
it's a
Yeah.
lot. Hey, Sophia, just wanted you to know you're gorgeous. Have a safe, productive day. 1 year ago. 6 months ago. Hope you love your energy and positivity from what I'm seeing. 2 days ago. Good night. No answers ever. Like, okay.
Good
All
night.
right. Good night, sir.
That's weird.
I love the ones that tell you about their day. Like they message you like every day to just like tell you about what they're doing throughout the day. And it's like, I won't see it for like 5 days. So by the time I see it, I'm like, wow, you did a lot in those 5 days. Like, what?
The ones that give like big paragraphs or phone numbers, I'll block just because that's a lot. Like,
Yeah.
I block too. A lot of people are like, oh my gosh, like, why your social media following? Like, I'm surprised it's not high. You know why it's not higher? Like, back before all the other craziness, like, everything was huge. And I was going to just delete it all and start over. I did delete my Twitter, whatever. But I feel like, regardless, even though it's a persona, it's my house. And there's a certain sort of conduct, like, you know what I mean? There's certain things that I don't want in my house. And I know that there are, you know, different, it's tough, right? Because I do things that are considered more sexy or whatever, but there is like kind of like a mixed age range, I guess, in there too. I know it's not like kids, but I don't want people to think that I'm okay with certain people talking to me a certain way and that it's not all right.
Yeah.
So I've gone on and I have all of these words like blocked, so you can't say them. So you know what I mean? There's only certain comments you make. And if you go overboard on that, I don't care who it is. I delete it. I block them. So I try to keep my following around 66.6 because A, it's funny. And B, like, I want genuine interactions there.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like there's days where it'll be like, and I'm like, what is all this crap? Like, who, you know what I mean? Like, I don't need.
Or when people are promoting like their brand, like under.
Oh my God.
They get taken out right
There's
away.
one shirts on something guy. It keeps all the time. And then it's
him.
like, then he'll post that and it'll be fine. And then it was like sluts on shirts and blah, blah, blah. And then he was like saying other vulgar stuff. I'm like,
it's too much.
What are you doing, dude? First off, you're not advertising on my page. I'm not stupid.
No.
Second off, you suck.
Yeah.
Like, go away.
I'm getting added to like weird, like they're not quite porno, but like they're like right there on Facebook. Like I'm just like added to a group. I'm like,
man.
Instagram stories the other day. I was accosted
my whole way
by a man.
The whole way.
Genitalia. I'm scrolling through stories, and it was just like hip bones out, whole like kit and caboodle across the screen. I was like, whoa. Since when are they allowing this on stories?
Well,
like,
why
come
can't,
on.
and this is
I did hear that Instagram and Facebook are lighter on like nipples and different
but
things.
I don't get this because why? If I model for a lingerie company and I post something that it's so weird. If I lean my head back a little bit, I guess my face looks more sensual. So I can't do that because then my picture will get flagged. If I sit a certain way, even if you can't see anything, like it'll get flagged. If I have,
cheek out there.
Oh yeah, this sideways, these sweet sweatpants. This is okay. You go here, that's not okay. Like I don't understand. Does not compute. Can somebody figure that the hell out for me? Because, but then there's a full peen and vagine.
Yeah,
like
all Frankie beans on the internet, but we can't put a side cheek. Like, come on. What are you doing?
You got the whole Franken bean.
No, the best I ever got was this guy had sent me, this was a while ago, but he had sent me a dick pic and he had put it in a filter and put it in an Art Deco filter and made it different colors. So it was like 4 pictures.
Hi, that was something was just
Yeah, and it took my friend and I like 20 minutes to figure out what it was because not only was it like multicolored, but like it was a weird angle to be shooting at. There was just a lot going on in the picture. Like,
that's crazy.
Yeah, but when you put the different lightings on it and like the filters.
I think that I guess maybe D for effort, but D effort for the D.
See what you did there.
Yeah. But I don't know, man. Maybe I became prude as I got older too, but now I'm like, if you're just like sending shit out or you're like, I don't want to be involved with people that are like, I'm gonna sext you all day long. I'm gonna like, I'm like, it's just like not hot.
No.
You know what I mean? Like that's
like, what happened to you in your life that you think that that's okay and that's what?
There's no.
And
I like this one. I like some respect. You know?
Yeah, a little bit, just a tad.
Something that I'm comfortable with or dating, like flirt or say something spicy here, there, whatever, and then like move on with it. But like, there's one guy, there's one man that we had like a brief thing years ago, and this guy is forever still talking to himself in my DMs. And through having like a girlfriend, I'm like, what are you doing? Like, first off, I'm not. Look, like. Again, I love options. I love options for clothing. Be prepared for everything. I like snack options. I like dessert options. I'm not a fucking option.
Yeah.
So you're going to treat me like if there's anything else in question, like I don't need some crazy smothering. Like that's a whole different level. You can obsess over me at certain times. That's fine. But there is really a time and a place. And if you can't respect your current partner, you're already off the table for me. B, like if you can't take a hint, like when I've asked you repeatedly to stop too, and you're still continuing to do it. And then it's like maybe once every 6 months, like, hey, how are you? Blah, blah, blah. And then it's like pervy Instagram video, pervy. I'm like, what are you doing with this, bro? Like you're successful. Can you go do something like besides like how are you successful at all when you're spending your time sending me a million pervy innuendo things on Instagram all day?
Well, they're not, so that's why.
My God.
Yeah, it's just like I wonder what like goes through some of these people's heads that they like think that that's the right path to go.
I'm not putting down girls or whatever for, you know what I mean? Like I obviously we all get sucked into stupid stuff, but there's got to come a point where you're like, this is unoriginal. Like do something different. Like do like where, you know, like we've all made mistakes.
Like when has this worked for you, dude? Like
this is, it's just gotten out of hand. It's too much.
It is way too much. Take that someplace else, please.
I don't like it. I don't want it. I miss the old way of dating where people like it was actually, I'm not saying like, you know, woman's just in the kitchen and the man's at work, but it was like
property would be courted.
Right. Yeah, like a little bit of courting. And then, so you're not like humping somebody right away. Like, you know, you like bang somebody and you're like, that wasn't the right decision.
Yeah.
Well, you know what? Like, maybe we hang out a couple times. I see like, all right, maybe, you know, like this is cool. Like it'll let go. Give that build. Like that build is so good. We all like suspense in movies, right? So it's like the suspense, like that ending in that movie wouldn't be as good without the build up anyway. So like, why can't you foreplay life a little bit?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like in a way that's like actually cool, because you might find out like, all right, I got the ick from this person after like 3 times. Thank God you were not in and around my body. Like, you know what I mean? Like,
I completely agree. Also, sometimes you'll be like, oh yeah, I'm hanging. I wish some of my friends, if I go too hard with somebody in the beginning, like I'm like, oh, they're the greatest person in the world. My friends won't say anything to me because they're like, you were too deep we couldn't say anything. You got caught in that.
That happens with us, but we will
We're
throw
good
the
now.
anchor in the
I
part
wish
pull each
some
other up.
some of my friends.
Ma'am.
No.
No.
I'm the worst with breaking it off with people that I'm not interested in. Like,
It's hard.
I wish I could just be like, nope, I'm not interested. Like, and be like, but I always like do the like, oh yeah, I'm fine, and I let it go like way too long when I really just should have nipped it in the bud.
Well, you see what I found that I like, this might be the same for you. It could be totally different, but I also realized that like, I really like to see people happy and thriving and successful and whatever. And my whole thing was that like, I would get stuck in these cycles where I'm like, but we're doing this together. We're doing that together. Where in retrospect, I was just building shit for other people. Right. But I also feel like in that optimism was kind of a blinding curse because I would always see potential. I would see the greatness in somebody that they didn't see in themselves. So then I would give them the push to like do these things, which in turn, then I'm like, oh my God, they're doing all these things. Well, why? But I was so enthralled by like all of these amazing things and seeing them like happy and thriving, but I didn't pay attention to the shit that I should have paid attention to until it was like too late. And then I'm like, oh, here we go again.
Yep.
What am I doing?
I get the cutesy.
I get sidetracked.
Whatever, like.
Yeah. I don't know. I fall in
much.
love with potential. That's a problem.
Yeah.
I fall in love with potential so hard. So.
And I try to see potential in people. Like,
Yeah.
I'm always the one that's like, well, you know, they've got this good about them, and like,
right.
I do sometimes like give them a bit of a
yeah. I would go through phases like that where I'm like, okay, you're being too judgmental. Like don't judge somebody based on this. Like let them not prove themselves, but figure out who they really are. But I was still seeing people for what I wanted to see them for anyway. Not so now I'm kind of like, we have this whole crazy thing that we're born with called a gut instinct, our intuition.
Stop bucking the system.
Yeah. Anytime I go against it, it's bad. It's downhill. Like ship is sinking, Titanic style. Like it's done. Nobody's playing the songs on the boat. Like it's just bad. It's
my thing is too, like people always try to get me to do things. I call it the normal way. And like I just have my own way of doing things. So it's always like they're trying to get me to do it their way. And that doesn't work for me. Like I have to like do it my way or it's not gonna like it's just not gonna have the same vibe.
And we've like, even with our friendships, like where we're at now, and I think the people that we have in our life, like our lives are romantic, if that makes sense. Like they're very thoughtful and considerate. And like, you know, one day she was like, I know you didn't eat, like come over. She made like a whole picnic, like candles outside. And that like we do thoughtful, romantic stuff for each other. Why? I don't want to be with somebody, you know what I mean? In any aspect of my life, that like once you hit that certain level of like, this is how you should treat people and be treated, why would you ever leave from that?
Yeah.
You know, like I'm not, one of my like best friends in the world passed away like 6 months ago. Sorry, I'm having a baby moment. But he was like the sweetest old man that you've ever met in your life. We worked together and he, you know, he was a photographer and he like retired because he got older and he was sick, but he didn't really have family he was close with. And we became friends. He was like my father figure. This man, when I tell you, like he's an elderly sick man, would bake me brownies and overnight them. He would send me flowers, the best pop-up cards, like anything you could think of. There was never anything romantic between, like it was not that.
Yeah.
The level of thoughtful, caring, like observant, I was just like, damn, this man, like even after he still took care of me, even in his passing. So if a dead guy can take care of me, what the hell? Why would I have anyone? Do you know what I mean? Like life is short. Like you have to value people. You have to live with some kind of passion. Because if not, what the fuck is the point? You might as well be dead. Like
seriously,
it's too short, man. So if we're gonna do things our own way and people are gonna think it's weird, then they're just not our people. That's fine.
Yeah, I entirely agree.
You know, like whatever, be weird.
And I think when you're younger, you have so many friends, but it's like you have acquaintances and then you have your core people. Like there's
Yeah.
people, it's a tree.
Oh,
There's people that are your
posture.
roots, people that are your branches, and people that are your leaves. Leaves are going to come and go. Branches fall off when they want to. But it's very important to have people that are your roots, that are always going to be there, always going to make sure you're okay, that you're good, that you're living and thriving.
It's beautiful.
You know what I mean? Like it's important to have those kind of people and to cherish those relationships and work towards those relationships more than
Yep.
anything else.
That was like perfectly said.
That was perfect.
Sweet. Little clap.
You guys are very insightful people, so I'm really happy you both came on to because now I'm gonna leave this episode with so many things to think about. Honestly,
It's nice to just process. You know what I mean? Like
that's really what we've been doing this year, is just kind of processing things. Because so much has happened.
Oh my god.
So much has happened in about 2-3 years that we just have to take a step back finally and be like, okay, yeah, that happened.
I think
and
that's the best.
why.
That's the best thing that we did. You know
Yeah.
what I mean? Instead of just going through the motions and having to all of
Face
this
everything,
chaos.
yeah.
There was so many things that happened that were extremely good and extremely bad, and I think that kind of kept us level. But it really made us I think we grew so much as people in the past year because of the fact that we were just soul searching, maybe.
And not like we're checked out or we're vapid or anything, but we could be sitting in the middle of a hurricane and just be like, okay,
all right,
it's this happening. If I go, I go.
This was a year that tested boundaries, and honestly, I think that's the one thing that I did really learn this year is to set boundaries with people.
Yeah.
And
the year before, I was just doing anything. Anytime anybody wanted me to do something, I was trying to be there and trying to go out and do it. And I was exhausted. I was exhausted. Now, this year, I got to enjoy what I was doing. And at times, things are always up and down. But I mean, this year, I feel like I grew a lot this year.
It's refreshing, and it's also when you start really paying attention to where your energy is reciprocal and on the same level, and everybody has bad days, everybody has good days, but it's that balance of being able to set each other off, or how people talk about things, or how people talk about their negative experiences. And don't get me wrong, when my friend passed away, I went through some weird vicious head stuff where I felt like a broken record. I kept going to Sophie and I'm like, oh my god. She she was like, you're cool, talk me off the ledge. It was hard, but I really think we got to process. I really think we got to step back and look at things for being beautiful again. And it also showed us who's there for the right reason, who's not. And again, almost like the guys talking about their ex thing or whatever, you get to learn how people deal with the hardships, how people deal with the triumphs, and you find where the happy medium is there. And it's not like you have to have some big falling off with people.
No.
But if someone doesn't align, that you kind of just need to, move your focus elsewhere. And they don't need to be in your close little bubble. There's one guy that we know that, Jesus Christ, any little thing, and it's the end of the world, oh my god, this is wrong, and it was the drama, everything was, and I was we can't do this.
No, it's too much.
I feel I need a Valium after I get off the phone with this dude after a normal conversation. So, which I don't think I've ever taken a Valium in my life, so that's an assumption. But
it's exhausting though.
It was just too much. And it was somebody that I really valued and cared about, I thought. And not saying that I don't, but it's at a definitely a much different level.
Yeah.
And I can't.
Yeah.
Dude, you're complaining about everything. Everything. I had crazy shit happen in my car today. I didn't even tell you.
Oh my god, what happened?
Yeah, it's fine. See what I mean? I just remember that.
We didn't have time
I had
today.
to call 911.
No. Can we just since you brought up the car, can we just can you tell the story about what happened when you sold your car and what they found in the back?
So I had this Lincoln MKX, and I was rushing to get rid of it because I found the car that I wanted. So I was oh, I gotta go. So I took all of this stuff out of the car And then I guess when I went to the dealership, they're doing like a walk around, and I'm like, I forgot that there was effects blood in the back, and I was like, oh, I'll get it later, whatever. So it was spilled all over the friggin' mat. It was like an all weather mat. And when they opened it, they were like, oh, and I was like, it's blood. It was a body. It was like, I couldn't get it out. I felt so stupid. And then I'm like kind of laughing, and they looked at me like I was completely insane. I was like, I do effects. It's not a real dead body. Like, it's not. I'm like, thank God it didn't smell offensive, but they were like terrified for a minute. I mean, I know I've had body parts on my car before, but this one was just, I don't know. Part of me, I was kind of like,
you know what happens? It happens. If I ever get pulled over and my car gets searched, there's like a old shovel in there that my dad put in when I first started driving in case I get stuck in the snow. But it's like one of those metal-ended murder shovels.
You always have duct tape.
Yeah, duct tape. We always have duct tape.
we
Duct tape
always
comes in
have
handy
duct tape.
so much.
Duct
One
tape,
thing,
super glue.
yeah, if you keep anything with you in life,
Duct
duct
tape.
tape and super glue. Just keep it in your car. And maybe
Duct
a
tape's
shovel.
great
You
for
know, you never
things.
know.
The convention we went to, and Sophie got in a car
Oh
accident.
my God.
We were listening to. She goes,
We can't listen to ludicrous.
Is this just recently?
no, this was like last year.
Yeah.
So Sophie goes, put on something jazzy. And I was like, jazzy? What do you think of jazzy? And she's like, ludicrous, move, bitch. And I was like, I got you. So I put it on,
Soiled it.
and we're like, it's kind of hood where we're at. We were like getting down. We were like, but these people were driving like maniacs. And this car in front of us decided that the light turns yellow, you should just stop in the middle of the
Slam
road.
on your brakes in 3 lanes of traffic with nowhere to go. So
she couldn't go anywhere.
And it was either graze him or hit oncoming traffic.
Yeah, or these people were in our lane. So like, where are we supposed to go?
It was terrible.
So I was like, we can't do this. We got a convention to get to.
Yeah.
So I was like, screw it. So the guy like didn't really speak English. He's trying to call 911. Poor Sophie was like in shock. So she
possummed on because
like,
I've never been in an accident
I
before.
do that too.
Never been in. Like, I've been involved in the car with someone else driving, but me driving, that's the first one I've ever been in.
I was like, baby girl, you sit here.
She got out, she opened the door that wouldn't open, got on the hood, did like a Mexican hat dance, and got the hood to close again.
Jumped on the hood, and then this guy's like, oh, my bumper. But I was like, you don't need this. So I put a switchblade, and all I had was a switchblade. Like, why? That's like totally illegal. So I'm like, the cops come up, like, that's not going to be good. I thought it was my prop one because I have one that's a comb. I brought the wrong one.
It was a real one.
Whatever. It was useful. So I get out, and I'm like, so I get his bumper off, and then I was like, little duct tape on that. It's checkered. So I slapped it on there. I stopped 3 lanes of traffic, and I walked off with this bumper. Everyone's looking at me like I'm insane. I threw it off to the side, and I was like, you good? We got to go. We're going to file this online.
Well, because even the woman on 911 was like, listen, the cops aren't going to come. Like,
yeah,
nobody's coming for you.
Everybody's insurance is filed. You filed it through us. Like, you're going to be sitting there for 12 hours. Like, just if no one's injured or going to the hospital, they're not coming.
So we left.
Yeah.
We make it to the event, and I didn't realize everybody's like, oh my God, you guys got in an accident? Are you okay? I was like, yeah, we're fine. We're fine. Like, we're totally cool. She's fine. We walk in. I'm like, Jesus Christ, no wonder people are asking if I'm okay. My
hair's crazy.
Was
she's got
so
wild,
and I looked
whatever
like
all over her
TLC,
face.
like freaking left. I had like freaking grease just smeared under my face, and I'm like, I'm ready to host this event. Let's go.
Oh my God.
Now in shock still. Like,
some guy stopped a tow truck to try to hit on us while I'm trying to duct tape a bumper back on.
I'm like, dude, rate the room.
Rate the room, please.
She's like,
I tried to be
dramatic.
cute.
Come on now.
Her head's all popped up. I tried to be cute and like kind of just sit on it. It wasn't working. So I was like, I'm like jumping on the hood of the damn car.
We made it home, and she took actual black duct tape and did this great job until my uncle has a body shop, and it just took a while for me to be able to have it be there. 2 weeks straight, and yeah, she did pristine. You couldn't tell for. If it wasn't for my whole everything else being smashed, I would have just kept it. Looked great. But
so always duct tape. Duct tape and super glue or nail glue will save you through anything.
It truly, if we have anything to take from this podcast, is keep your friends close. Nail glue, duct tape.
Your friends close, keep your duct tape closer.
Yeah. Very good.
I love those little tiny bottles of eyelash glue.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, they're good too.
I keep those in my wallet.
Yeah, so do I. I've learned that they're like great to have around.
I feel like I don't have eyelash glue as much because I started using just like the little ones that you stick under your eye.
Oh
So,
yeah.
like, I was such like
She
a
loves
big
those now.
full lash strip person, and now I'm just like do. Let's go.
I don't know what
Let's
it
go,
is.
girls.
You can keep them on for a couple days. If I sleep in them one night, I'm like, oh, it's got to come off my face. I can't handle it.
I'm so used to
Yeah,
taking
I can't sleep with them on.
They're finicky. You have to like get them right at the right spot. If not, you're like, my
Oh,
retina.
I can't. That's me all the time. I'm like, oh.
I like them though.
So before we let you go, what are your plans for Halloween?
We're just gonna go trick or treating, probably.
I'm gonna try to go trick or treating. Try.
Yeah, we're gonna attempt.
That's the goal.
We'll see.
I know my son said this year, he's like,
Do
I don't
anything.
know if I want to go trick or treating, and I'm like,
Oh, I'm going through that with mine too. That she doesn't want to go. I'm like, what do you mean you don't want to
be
go?
anything. I don't care.
and my friend and I are like all ready. I got a possum and he got a raccoon, and we were gonna walk around with a trash can to get candy.
Stop,
Oh, I
love
love that. That's so cute.
And yeah, and Jackson was supposed to be Beetlejuice because he didn't want to be themed with mom this year. So I was like, okay, that hurts my heart, but okay.
This was the first year too that like we usually do a lot with haunt stuff, and we just had so much going on that we were like, no, like we went and did like we did all time. We did 2 nights at Bates, and that was it.
Yeah,
like, that was
it was fun. You know, we
it was
had
time. We
had
had
a time.
It was good. That was enough.
As someone that's been to most of them, what would each of you say is your favorite?
Oh man,
My favorite, probably
You like
in
Reapers,
in this
right?
area, is probably Reapers.
Reapers
They put on a really great show.
Reapers is good.
Reapers.
Reapers is really good.
I like Field of Screams a lot.
Yeah,
I like Field of Screams a lot for the fact that it's like it
They're
is a little more
nostalgic.
family friendly, but it is nostalgic, and I like their hayride a lot.
Yeah.
Acting, I think it's tough for them because they do put on a really good show, but like it's also a lot of young kids and they're volunteers.
Yeah.
So it's like
We got to give it to them. They're there all the time.
yeah, all the time.
No matter how cold it is, they're out in the corn doing their thing. So we see
I like Reapers. I think Reapers is the best one I've been to. I grew up. I'm from media, so Bates is like around the corner.
yeah.
Good old Bates.
Good old Bates.
Yeah, and I did Eastern State this year, and it was a lot of fun. It's Drinkapalooza. They put a bar next to every like haunt, so like coordinated. So there's a clown haunt, and then next to the clown is clown bar. So the vampire haunt is the vampire bar. I was like, oh, you can get stuff in here.
That's kind of the theme now. Everybody's putting bars in their haunt.
I was like, oh, this is like a whole complex. I like it because I live in Philadelphia now, and I'm like, oh, that's right. That's right down the street. So
I haven't really gotten to go to many others for a while that I wasn't, but I don't know.
Lincoln Mill was cool.
Lincoln Mill was cool. I like
their
that.
location.
Did you go there? It's not a huge. I've only been there a couple years, but
3 years.
It was good, and it was themed. Like we love a storyline, right?
Yeah.
So it had like a storyline. The costuming was beautiful.
Very
The
theatrical.
makeup was good. Yeah, I liked it. They had some good jumps there too.
Yeah. Reapers is the only place that actually ever scared me, like in real life. But it's because they have that, spoiler alert, if you go there, they have an elevator simulator.
Mm-hmm.
And I was 8 years old. We were in my grandmom's apartment building, and we dropped 8 floors in the elevator. So I have a little bit of trauma with them. And this thing is on like a blow pad. So when it goes down, it only goes down like maybe 5 or 6 inches, it drops. But it was enough that I was like holding on for dear life, hyperventilating, freaking out.
Baby,
I was like,
Oh man, so you can't do any of those drop things, like any of the.
I don't like them. I don't even like log.
Can we go on Tower Terror?
Oh God,
I did Tower Terror, and I was like,
probably have a traumatic flashback, but yeah.
yeah, I did Tower Terror, and I was like screaming the whole time. I'm definitely like just looked up the Lincoln Mills. I'm like, okay, now I have weekend plans now.
Oh yeah,
Good.
highly recommend.
Where is that?
Local little ones.
That's like out by Manayunk.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, it's like right on the end of the main strip.
Yeah.
So
It's right on the water. Like there's water right there. And
yeah,
it's cute.
so check it out.
So do you guys have anything other than the movies that is Like, do you have any appearances or anything that's coming
We
up that
not there. We were gonna do so many conventions, and right now
Just
I'm
don't
like,
have
we need to
time.
just focus on getting this done. Like, I don't know how we're gonna to break away because even like the weekend of Monster Mania, I have stuff going on. The weekend right after that, the guy Chris that I talked to you about that shot like part of the new Terrifier. Like I'm doing a project with them. Like there's like so much. I don't know.
So much at once and not enough time.
And like there's so many invites that come in and I want to say yes, but then even the weekend that I'm shooting all that stuff with Chris, like I felt so bad because there was an event that I signed on to co-host like months ago. But when I signed on, I was like, look, this is kind of like my busy time of year. And just in case, and like that,
it
those
all hits at once?
are like right in the middle of heavy effects. Like I have to be there. So I don't want to like book something and then cancel. You know what I mean? So it's like we're just gonna have
kind
to
of hard
write it out
until like January. It's gonna be a little rocky.
yeah. After
That's when we free up.
Yeah.
We're just gonna maybe we'll hibernate for like a week. Maybe we'll actually get to sleep a little bit by a fireplace, and then we can be like, all right.
Rejuvenate. Well, I'm super happy that we had you guys on and all.
Thanks for having us.
Yeah, thank you so much. We know how busy
you guys
October
are.
is for you. Thank you so much.
Literally, we just want to talk like with our
you
friends,
guys are the first one that we've been on in months because
we
haven't had time, but we definitely have to make time for you guys because we love it. Thank you for having us.
Thank you so much.
You're welcome.
And definitely keep us updated as soon as the new season comes out. Pony.
We got a lot.
Oh yeah,
we got a lot.
We'll keep you posted. Don't worry.
I can't wait to see what you've done with a non-horror film.
It's pretty
I'm
awesome.
really looking forward to the film. Like it's definitely like I'm like, oh, this sounds amazing. So we appreciate you guys making time.
Thank you so much.
Welcome. Thanks for having us. Happy Halloween.
Happy Halloween.
All right, they're awesome, and I love everything that they've got going on. We have
glad you got to be there for it this time.
I know.
Last time you were stuck in like a tropical storm.
Mm-hmm. We've had an awesome October of guests, and I love the diversity of the people we've had on this month. I want to thank all of our viewers for paying attention every week. Thank you to our producer because we have been filming so much this month. And I just want to thank you, Allie, for being the backbone of the show. And we will see you all next week.
Happy Halloween, everyone.
Happy Halloween.